Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine. You're listening to a new The Hacker Factory podcast with hacker maker Phillip Wylie. You're about to discover what the role of a professional hacker entails, the different specializations it holds, and what it takes to learn and become one. Enjoy the conversation as Phillip and guests unveil the secrets of professional hacking, a mysterious, intriguing, and often misunderstood occupation. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
BugCrowd's award-winning platform combines actionable contextual intelligence with the skill and experience of the world's most elite hackers to help leading organizations identify and fix vulnerabilities, protect customers, and make the digitally connected world a safer place. Learn more at bugcrowd.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hacker Factory podcast. I'm your host, Phillip Wylie. In each episode, I have a unique guest sharing their story of how they got started in offensive cybersecurity, bug hunting, security research. And today I've got someone with a really good story, unique story. We met through InfoSec, Twitter. I know each other from LinkedIn, and it's always cool to get to talk to my LinkedIn and Twitter friends in person. So I have the honor of interviewing Gabrielle today. And so she's going to share her story with you. So thanks and welcome to the show, Gabrielle.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, it's good to have you and good to finally, we've seen each other's tweets, but to actually get our audience won't see the video, but I do use video cameras because it makes it more realistic, because if you say something funny or I say something funny, it has a better reaction. It looks more, seems more real. So why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Gabrielle, and I'm a pentester and also a blogger. And so in high school, I studied art and literature to become an actress. But at home, I loved to program websites about theater. And at that time, I did not dare to go in computer science because my parents and my school teachers saw me in this literature field. So that's why I became an actress. And on the side, I was a hotel receptionist. But my passion about programming became bigger. And so on a working holiday visa in Canada 12 years ago, I had the opportunity to work in IT. And so when I came back in France, I decided to go back to studies and pass a bachelor degree in computer science. And so after this, I was working in a big company as a developer, but I found myself questioning the security of the apps I delivered. So I began to do my research and to find a training to become a pentester. But unfortunately, there was no training that fitted my profile because they either were too expensive or they did not cover the background or so. So I decided to make my own program. And that's how I got hired as a pentester, because I documented all my program in a blog. And now I have been working as a pentester in Canada for around 3 years.
Well, that's good. That's a really good story. And you see these stories time and time again from some people getting into the industry in non-traditional ways. And, people that don't have experience and it just seems impossible. But a good example of how you were talking about your blog and how you documented all that in there and it helped you get a job. So I think, nowadays it's interesting that content creation, whether it's writing blogs, doing YouTube videos, is a good way to get a job. And so that's kind of proof to show how you got your foot in the door.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a way to broadcast what you do. I can only recommend this because a lot of people, they like to do CTF, to do things like this. So they just have to document it on a blog or something, and it's really like a real portfolio of who you are, of what you like to do. And employers, they just love to see this, and it's a good way to get employment opportunities.
So what gave you the idea to blog about it? Because I know a lot of times people that come from like an artistic background, whether actor, actress, or someone that, creates art, they're used to creating portfolios. So was that some of the inspiration for you to kind of create this online portfolio, or was it just something you saw in the industry and that gave you the idea to do that?
I was like, okay, I want to do this, and I'm probably not the only one who wants to do this. So why not document it? And it could probably help someone who wants to do the same thing. So that's why I decided to document it in a blog, because if you, I mean, we are not a lot different people are not a lot different from one another. So if you think about it, it's most of the time someone else wanted to do it. So I guess I just wanted to broadcast it so that people have if they want to do the same thing, they have someone who did it before, and so they can check if it fits them and if they enjoy it, and they can just do the same and get the inspiration from this, I hope.
It's good. Inspiration is a good thing too, because it's just sometimes if you can prove it can be done, sometimes it helps others. And that's one of the reasons I like to give comparisons to sports. When someone breaks a record, the fastest running time or something like that, when someone breaks that barrier, then other people can see it can be done. So sometimes it just takes others to show them how to do it. So from you writing your blog and, it's helping a lot of other people. So did you realize that it was going to have that much of an impact?
I really wanted to I was not sure of the impact, to be honest, but I was sure that maybe if I could help one person, it was enough for me. So I was happy that I got really positive feedbacks on LinkedIn and on social media. The people were reaching out to me for advice and everything. So I was very happy that it had this impact. But at first, the aim was really to, if I can inspire one person and if someone can benefit from this, it's definitely very cool, and it's very enough.
That's good. It's always good to be thinking of others. And as far as pen testing goes, what type of pen testing do you do?
So currently, I mostly do web pen test, but I also I'm starting to accumulate the knowledge and to train myself to do other types of pen tests. Like for instance, I'm on TCM Security Academy, which has a very cool training on how to it's like a lot of different pen tests. There's a part of web pen test, but there's also a part of Active Directory. And so I got really passionate about Active Directory these last few weeks. And so I'm getting to know better everything about it, because I really want to get to upgrade this skill and to probably have the enough knowledge to be able to also use this pen test type.
That's very good. And what else is good about, one of the things I like about, knowing Active Directory is that also helps you if you want to do, some red teaming type stuff, because a lot of times you have to be able to understand Active Directory and some of the servers and host based targets to be able to do red teaming. So that's great that you're learning that.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And it's, there's a lot of other things I want to learn, like I'm also practicing on TryAcme, on a lot of different platforms. And so I always try to find, like, I have to make a list, because otherwise I would go on each, like it would not be very structured. So I always make a list on what I want to do. I have like this sort of planning of everything I want to learn. And then I take topic by topic, and that's how I get there and I can achieve my goals. So yeah, it's
very good. And so you're starting to learn, or you're wanting to start learning cloud pen testing.
Yeah,
well,
also,
right?
Yeah, totally.
That's a good area, and that's one of the good areas where some of the, when you get to like Azure or Azure, however it's pronounced, learning Active Directory can help you in that, although it's a little bit different in Azure, but that's good skills there to be able to apply towards cloud, because you have some hybrid environments and on-prem environments, so be able to know the Active Directory could be helpful in that area too.
Oh, that's good to know.
So that's really cool that you're interested in other different areas, because I know some people will specialize in. When I first got started out, the company I worked for, consulting, we did like network pen tests and also application pen tests. But the company was getting ready they were going to have to cut people from our team. So we got moved over to a group that only did application pen testing. And I've been doing, network pen testing for about a year and 8 months or something along those lines. And I enjoyed getting to do all of it, but I got doing, web app and, executable applications, the thick client apps and some mobile stuff, but I missed getting to do some of the network stuff. So I changed jobs to one where I could do everything. So it's kind of good to get to do different things. And some people after a while will specialize, and then some people like to do different things. Do you ever think that you'll want to specialize, or do you think you'll continue to want to have a variety of types of targets to test?
I like the multidisciplinarity in pen test. So I don't I will probably specialize myself, because I've always dreamed to be an expert in something. And so that's one way to do it, like to find a topic you like. And but I'm interested in a lot of things, so I have to choose. I'm thinking as you mentioned, cloud pen test, but also there's I'm starting to learn a little. I'm not very knowledgeable about this right now, but I'm starting to learn a little about cryptocurrencies and how to pen test NFTs and things like that. So that's also another topic that I'd like to know more about. So in terms of getting an expert in something, I like a lot of different things. I'm starting to, I feel like I have a solid knowledge in web app pen test, so I'm very happy about it. And also what I recently, so I have this talk about web pen test that I often do. And recently I made a workshop for mobile app pen test. And it's another topic that I also find it very interesting, because there's this whole static analysis part, which is another thing that, because most of the time, when I was working in my previous company, we were doing pen tests, but we did not have the source code of the web app, so we had to. It was not completely white box, so it was gray box, so we had to test our things and everything. But with a mobile app, you have the source code, and you can check, and so you have this whole static analysis part that is interesting. And also it's like web pen test, but it has something a little more that is interesting and that I really like. So yeah, I have no specific topic right now in mind, but I like to keep my options open. In French, we say, I think you say it also in English, don't put your eggs in the same basket.
Yes.
So I try to have different options. I always like to have a B plan and have different options.
That's good. That's great. I can't wait to see some blog posts you do on the NFT pen testing. That will be interesting. Some of that stuff has been kind of interesting to me. I saw a while back, actually, kind of before he started, as mentioned, Cloud Resources, Bo Bullock from Black Hills Information Security Group did a webinar on blockchain pen testing a while back. And that was kind of interesting. So, doing a lot of these other things for so long, that kind of got me interested. I started looking through his blog. I may start kind of experimenting with that myself, because it's just kind of, it seems really interesting. And you just kind of see how those technologies, even outside of cryptocurrency, where that could be used, that technology is probably only going to grow and be used more widely, and to be able to understand it and how to assess it should be a pretty good skill to have.
Yeah, and I think people are going to use it probably more and more. So it's also part of the thing I like in cybersecurity. It's to protect people, and so it's definitely important to be able to test everything to be sure that people are safe. I feel it's like very like I'm doing this because I want to be sure that we are all protected.
That's good. That's good. I mean, a lot of people get into it, either because they're interested or to make money. So that's great that you're wanting to help protect others. And I see people from in the field from time to time, but that's good, because some people want to be, going to the military or law enforcement or, be first responders to help people. And, this is another way, protecting people on the cyber front is a good cause, because just more and more things are going to being online on the cloud, accessible through web applications and stuff. So it definitely needs to be protected, and the more people we have, the better. And so you had kind of an interesting one to share with our listeners. You did a pretty cool campaign a while back with these T-shirts, and that you did through like LinkedIn and Twitter. And I was fortunate enough to win one of these really cool T-shirts. You want to share about that campaign you did and kind of your mission behind that?
Yeah. So I had a great opportunity to initiate and create this concept for NERSEC, which is a cybersecurity conference in Montreal. And so the contest aimed to break down stereotypes through images and make the diversity of profiles of cyber professionals visible. And also, which was very important for me, dissociate the word hacker from cyber criminal. And we really had a great success. We had tweets and LinkedIn. We had more than 200,000 views. We reached 16 countries, and we received hundreds of photos. And yeah, it was really amazing. And to have people like you taking pictures of themselves with a T-shirt was also like amazing to see great influencers having the T-shirt. And so this is very cool. I was very happy of the impact it had.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to see the different pictures and everyone, because, part of I remember the contest, the people would take a selfie and with the, do I look like a hacker or whatever hashtag. That was really kind of cool. It's interesting to see those initiatives, and there was quite a few people that were involved in it. So that was really neat.
Yeah, it was like so many countries. I was amazed, but like to have this reach, it was really amazing.
So yeah, a lot of the reason people watch or tune into this show is to learn how to get into pen testing. So would you share your advice on someone that's wanting to learn to get into pen testing?
Sure. So firstly, I would say practice with a big project like vulnerable apps, and follow the full pen test process. Like choose a vulnerable app. There are a lot of vulnerable apps that are available online with a lot within OWASP projects, for instance. And what I would recommend is to take this app and follow the pen test process, reconnaissance and attack phase, and then reporting, because it's really important to be able to report. Also, you can use TryHackMe, TCM Security, or Hack the Box starting point to learn and practice. And question professionals from the industry on LinkedIn about their career, or ask them for tips. Read Philip's book, The Pentester Blueprint, because when I started, I really did not have a clear path on how to achieve my goal. And so content like this is very important. Attend conferences online or on site to learn more about cybersecurity in general, because it's a very, very vast domain. And always highlight your previous professional experiences that are transferable to the cybersecurity field. We have a lot of different experience. It doesn't have to be a professional experience. We did a lot of different things, and we get a lot of skills and experience from these elements. And it's completely possible to find those skills that were done and to apply them to cybersecurity. And also, it's important to say, do not lose hope, because you will get rejections from employers. I had a lot of rejections, but someone took a chance on me because of my blog, and then that's how I got my foot in the door, and that's how I was able to start working as a pen tester. Never stop learning. Always find something you are passionate about to learn. Follow influencers on social media, because they always have great tips and resources to share. And and also very, very important, I have a literature background. So the hacker mindset did not come naturally at first, but I have always been curious, so it grew in me. So don't be discouraged if you don't have it as well. You're gonna get it, and you're gonna it's something you can learn. Don't be afraid also to change your career to something completely different from what you were doing. And I guess that's it.
That's great advice too, and I like that you're talking about other skills from other areas that are transferable, and that's good to keep in mind. Good advice for people. Usually, each episode, I ask people what their view of certification. So, what are your view of certifications? What's been your experience?
So I don't think certifications are mandatory because there are many CTF and bug bounty platforms that can attest of your knowledge, like if you put your skills on this. But I do understand the struggle for newcomers, because employers ask for those on job postings. So what I would recommend in this case is probably INE certifications or TCM Security Academy certification, because both of them are based on real pen testing context. So you have 1 week of lab, and so it's not 48 hours or a very short time like CTF oriented. It's really based for a real context. And I think this is really appropriate and more adapted to a pen test employment.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I know, there's different views on that. Some people are really, they got their start because of certifications and they feel like they have to have them. But, the way I really want to see the field myself is because, there's some of the best pen testers I know have no certifications. Then I know good pen testers that have certifications. So it's kind of good for people to know that you don't have to do things one way, that you don't have to have the certifications, because if you can get the interview and prove that you can do a pen test, or you can describe some of the things you did, like on the Hack the Box or Try Hack Me or some different vulnerable apps, that you're able to describe that, that's going to be better, because even if you have the certification and if you forget what you learned, then when you get an interview, it's not going to help you.
Yeah, I completely agree. My first job, I had no certifications, and I was okay. Everything happened.
Yeah, it's actually funny, but it was a different time. When I got started back in 2012, the only security certification I had was the CISSP, and that didn't help me get my job. So I kind of got a certification after I've been in pen testing probably a little after a year, but yeah. So it's good and another thing people always ask too is, do I have to know how to code to be a pen tester? I know you had a computer science background, so the coding things probably helped you. So what are your opinions on that?
I think it helps, but I don't want people to be stressed out if they don't know how to code, because I know that you can learn it on the way during your experience. Like, you don't have to you don't have to write your own exploit right away. You can learn it on the way. And for most of the vulnerabilities, you already have all written exploits. And as long as you can understand a little when you read code, it's more than enough. and you can learn everything on the go. So I think it helps, but you can, learn when you practice.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing sometimes to ask different people about that. And the one person that surprised me that she doesn't code is Alyssa Knight. And I'm sure you're familiar with Alyssa Knight,
Yeah.
In my opinion, one of the world's best hackers and pen testers. And when I asked her about that, and she told me that she doesn't code or doesn't know how to code, that really surprised me. So it's just back to the whole thing, it's not one way there's not only just one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it. And that's something to give everyone hope. If you want to do this, you don't have to necessarily, you don't have to know how to code. You don't have to have certifications, or you don't have to have a degree. These things can help you, and different things help people differently. So
and Alyssa Knight, she made this amazing white paper about API pen test, and it was so helpful. So if she listens to this, thank you.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Oh, cool. She does some really good stuff too. She's got like an API conference, API Secure, that's coming out in April too. So
nice.
So that will be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the different people know how to code, and then you see some people that write their own tools and stuff, and so it's pretty interesting. I think a lot of the tools that we have now have made it possible to pen test without tools. If you're going to brute force a login on a web page,
you have something.
Yeah, you can use Burp Suite. One time people had to either write their own scripts to do it, or use something like Hydra from the command line. And it just seems, then you've got Metasploit. So Metasploit's been around since before I got into pen testing, but at one time people didn't have exploit frameworks, and they'd have to find exploits or, write their own. So it's just amazing how things have made it easier to get started. And then as you progress, you can learn to code, you can learn these more complex things, writing your own exploits and that sort of thing. So it's a very interesting field for sure. So we're getting down towards the end of the show. Is there anything you'd like to share, or any advice you'd like to give, or shout outs to anyone?
Well, I don't have anything specific. Just if you're interested in pen test, just go for it, because it's an amazing field. You have a lot of different topics to learn about, and it's it changed my life, definitely. So I can only recommend it.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting path to go from an artistic background and acting to go to pen testing and hacking. That's the it's interesting that they include art. In STEM, it used to be STEM, and then they started calling it STEM to include the arts. But that's just such a different area. But I guess one of the things I think it does help is someone that's creative. So I'm sure some of those talents that you had from acting, that creativity has probably helped you in your role.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very important to have to know what you were doing before. And it's exactly the thing I was saying about transferable skills. Yeah, definitely. Acting and theater and everything, it helped me for public speaking. It helped me for the creative part and everything. So yeah, it's
and if you haven't done it yet, it'll help you with social engineering.
Yeah, I did it. I had, I had some physical pen test, and one was very amazing. I wrote a blog about it. It's called Codename 2300 because I had to romance it a little because it's confidential, and we stayed in the building for the whole night with my colleague, and it was a lot of fun. So it's definitely, yes, and acting was definitely helpful. I remember that I had some sentences, with the stress level, and you're not yourself, you're someone else. And the fact that I had these memories from my acting past was very helpful for me at this time.
imagine that's helpful. And when you mentioned helping with public speaking, yeah, some of the best speakers I know of have, maybe not acted professionally or whatever, but might have been in like local community theaters. That's kind of like the former pastor for my church. He had that acting skills, and if you're a storyteller, then you make it more interesting and makes for a better speaker.
Yeah, completely.
Well, thanks for joining us. It's been great learning more about you and learning your story, and thanks for sharing your story and your information, the knowledge and stuff. I'm sure someone is going to get some good out of it, and help someone start their career or motivate them to continue trying to get into the industry.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time with you, Philip.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you on the next episode.
BugCrowd's award-winning platform combines actionable contextual intelligence with the skill and experience of the world's most elite hackers to help leading organizations identify and fix vulnerabilities, protect customers, and make the digitally connected world a safer place. Learn more at bugcrowd.com.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hacker Factory podcast with Phillip Wylie. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share itsbmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.